Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingday Tim Hoki bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include talk between Manipur, Government of India and UNC ended without breakthrough to hold further talks on district creation issue. Manipur police call for collective action, public cooperation to combat extortion activities instead. News in details. The Manipur new district creation issue tripartite talks involving the central government, the United Naga Council, and the government of Manipur resumed yesterday in New Delhi after a long hiatus. During the talks today, it was decided that the next round of talks will be held on November 15, 2024 in Senapati district. The previous government of Manipur has created 7 new districts on December 8, 2016. In protest against that act of the Manipur government, the UNC had imposed 139 days of economic blockade along the national highways which pass through Manipur. After the lifting of the blockade, the first round of talk was held on March 19, 2017, followed by several rounds of talk. According to the UNC sources, today's talk was held in a cordial atmosphere and it was mutually agreed that further progress will be made by engaging in a sustained manner in order to resolve the issue in a time-bound manner, keeping in view of the previous commitments. The 7-member UNC team was led by its president, NG Lorho. The central government side was represented by A.K. Misra, who is advisor, Northeast Ministry of Home Affairs, while the Manipur government was represented by Vinit Joshi, Chief Secretary, and N. Asok Kumar, Commissioner cum Secretary, the UNC sources further say. It can be recalled here that on March 19, 2017, the UNC lifted the 139-day economic blockade imposed on national highways after the Manipur government recognized their grievances of the UNC. The terms of agreement of the March 19 talks on the issue says that the grievances of the UNC which led to the imposition of the economic blockade by them was recognized as there was non-adherence to the 4 Memorandum of Understanding and the Government of India's assurance on the manner. Amid a surge in extortion cases across Manipur, the state police have called for police cooperation in combating the rampant illegal activities that are inflicting economic and psychological damage on society. During a press conference, IGP Intelligence K. Khabib outlined the preventive measures being undertaken by law enforcement, but acknowledged that organized extortion continues to thrive despite these efforts. He emphasized the need for active participation from the public in reporting such activities to effectively curb the menace. The police urged citizens to come forward if they experience or witness illegal demands for money, with assurances that the identities of informants would be kept confidential. K. Khabib stressed that communities must avoid engaging in moral policing, as intelligence reports suggest these activities often serve as a cover for covert extortion. Instead, residents are encouraged to report any suspicious individuals to law enforcement authorities. The IGP highlighted that since the onset of the crisis in May last year, various underground groups and criminal gangs have been persistently demanding money under the guise of donations. The extortion has spread to national highways, markets, schools, and established institutions where illegal taxes are being imposed. In addition to extortion, these groups have been involved in kidnappings, grenade attacks, and issuing threats via phone, plunging ordinary citizens into economic hardships and widespread anxiety. In response to the escalating situation, Manipur police have established an anti-extortion cell led by the ADGP Law and Order, with all zonal IGPs as members. The cell is tasked with supervising anti-extortion operations throughout the state. Furthermore, The police, in coordination with other security agencies, have formed 15 specialized crack teams across districts to target extortion activities. Over the past years, the police have made significant progress, arresting 121 individuals directly involved in extortion and more than 250 underground and gang members associated with illegal practice. To ensure the safe transport of essential goods along National Highway 2, the state government has deployed 16 Central Reserve Police Force companies for road opening patrols, with 2 additional companies providing escort services for trucks. The police have identified extortion hotspots where district law enforcement, in collaboration with other agencies, has increased mobile team patrols, frisking and surveillance operations. Despite these extensive efforts, K. Kabib reiterated the importance of public cooperation in eradicating extortion, as the situation requires a collective approach for lasting success. A graduation ceremony was held today at Neslamka Youth Resource Center, Jesse Park, Bung Mall, for the successful completion of a 6-month women's tailoring course, basic and advanced, by 13 trainees. The course was conducted free of cost and was sponsored by Infant Jesus Church Mumbai and Jamsons Engineering PVT Ltd. The training was conducted under the guidance of trainer Nu Sang Lee, and 10 out of the 13 trainees successfully completed the course. 2 trainees have been selected for further training as solar engineers at Barefoot College Social Work and Research Center, Tilonia, Rajasthan, under Neslamka's partnership. 1 trainee dropped out due to personal reasons. During the graduation ceremony, the trainees were awarded laptop bags, sewing machines, and certificates of completion. The training focused on empowering women with skills to generate income and become self-sufficient. The course covered various aspects such as entrepreneurship, financial management, time management, and women's empowerment. Pastor L. Kai Han Song, local pastor, EBCC Bung Mall, graced the occasion and encouraged the trainees to become role models for others. Neslamka also announced its plans to conduct hotel management training and has already started its 2nd batch. The selected trainees will undergo in-house training at 5-star hotels in Kochi and Lucknow. The organization's leaders assured that they will continue to provide such training programs and seek partnership to support the development of the community. The Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights, under the entrustment of the Kuki in Manipur, had been taking up commendable hard work and making it possible to the 3rd phase of the Jangna Dopna project handing out ceremony. As we all know, the Jangna Dopna project aims to give support to the families of all the martyrs who lost their lives due to the brutality of the Métis in this current ethnic conflict. A certain sum of money had been collected from every Kuki household across the globe, along with a traditional soul, is given out to the martyrs' families as a token of love and support to the next of kin of the martyrs' families. The Jangna Dopna project had been handed over 2 times, and the 3rd phase is scheduled to be conducted soon. First phase was conducted on 15 June 2024, where 12 martyrs' families were invited. The 2nd phase was conducted on the 2nd of August 2024, where 16 martyrs' families were invited. The 3rd phase is scheduled to be conducted on 19 October 2024. The 1st and 2nd phase of Jangna Dopna project handing out ceremonies were conducted at Wall of Remembrance, Tuibung. However, the 3rd phase will be conducted in Kangpopi district. Cohort thanked the entire generous contributors who contributed the said amount for the project monthly. This project is meant to wipe the tears of the martyrs' families, and hence they expect all Kuki mothers to continue to show their cooperation and commitment towards the project. A conglomerate of truck owners of Mizoram Truck Drivers Association, Mizoram Tipper Association Driver and Owner, along with Mizoram Indian Driver Welfare, have issued a statement that they will stop plying National Highway 306/6. The 3 associates states that Chief Minister Laldu Oma had given an order for NHIDCL contractor to repair the National Highway 306 between Sairang and Durlui by October 9, 2024. They added that they had inspected the road, but the repair work was unsatisfactory and is still dangerous for the truckers. Furthermore, the three associations meeting on October 10 decided that they will stop plying the roads between Sairang and Durlui indefinitely until the dangerous sections of the roads are repaired. As Assam comes alive with the vibrant celebrations of Durga Puja, the festive mood has been tragically dampened by a series of fatal road accidents across the state, claiming multiple lives and leaving several critically injured. In Guwahati's bustling Joo Road, a devastating accident occurred when a four-wheeler collided with a scooty, critically injuring a younger rider. Nearby residents acted swiftly, rushing the victim to Guwahati Medical College and Hospital GMCH for urgent medical treatment. The accident ignited tensions in the area, requiring police intervention to restore calm. In a separate incident in Golaghat, a high-speed motorcycle crash took a fatal turn on Friday night. The victim, identified as Biren Thakur, was attempting to cross the road to witness the Durga Puja festivities when he was struck by a motorcycle. The rider, Lohit Pradhan, sustained serious injuries and was immediately admitted to a local hospital for treatment. Barpeta also witnessed a fatal accident as a motorcycle, while returning from Durga Puja celebrations, crashed into a railing, killing both riders. The deceased were identified as Nissan Pathak and Kisan Sharma. Their tragic deaths have cast a shadow over the celebrations in the region. In Bongaigaon's Jogi Hopa, yet another disaster unfolded when a wedding party vehicle lost control during a U-turn, leading to the death of one passenger, Jiarul Haki. Several other passengers were injured in the crash, adding to the sorrow in the area. Jogi Hopa also reported a separate accident in which a cyclist identified as Gautam Rabba was killed after a collision with a motorcycle. Rabba tragically succumbed to his injuries while being transported to a nearby medical facility. The string of accidents occurring amidst Assam's biggest festive season has left communities grieving and authorities urging stricter road safety measures during celebrations. A 34-year-old woman was allegedly sexually assaulted and left on the road in southeast Delhi's Sarai Kale Khan. The incident reportedly came to light early Friday morning when, at around 3:20 a.m., an Indian Navy officer noticed the woman walking on the road in blood-stained clothes and alerted the police. A team from the local police station arrived at the scene to find the woman wearing a torn kurti and a piece of cloth around her lower body. According to a Times of India report, the police immediately took the woman to a hospital where doctors confirmed she was bleeding from her genital area, raising suspicions that the assault had occurred elsewhere, and she was later dumped in Sarai Kale Khan. Initial investigations revealed that the woman is a graduate from Odisha who had moved to Delhi a year ago after completing a nursing course. Her parents had filed a missing person report after she left their home in Odisha and later found out she was in Delhi. 2 months ago, the woman's parents traveled to Delhi and attempted to convince her to return home, but she refused. After that, the family returned to Odisha. The woman had reportedly lost her phone about a month ago and had not been in contact with her family since. She was living in South Delhi but had run out of money, forcing her to sleep on the streets. According to the police, CCTV footage showed her sleeping near an ATM booth for 2 days. The woman, who is currently receiving medical treatment, has been unable to provide the police with clear details about her attackers. A police officer mentioned that she was struggling to recall how she lost her phone or whether it was stolen, making it difficult to piece together the events leading up to the assault. Authorities are now reviewing CCTV footage from the surrounding areas to understand how the woman ended up in Sarai Kale Khan. The police have also contacted the woman's brother, who is a doctor, to assist in gathering more information. The investigation is ongoing and the police are working to identify the assailants involved. At least 12 coaches of the Mysore Darbhanga Bagmati Express derailed after a collision with a stationary goods train in Tiruvallur district, Tamil Nadu on Friday night. The incident resulted in around 20 passengers being injured and hospitalized, and this accident occurred around 8:30 p.m. near Kavaraipetai, approximately 46 km from Chennai. Sources reported that the express train partial van caught fire during the crash. The express train was traveling at 75 km per hour when it collided with the goods train stabled on the loop line. Initial investigations indicate that while entering the Kavaraipetai station, the train crew experienced a heavy jerk. Instead of continuing onto the main line, the train entered the loop line, leading to the unfortunate collision. Emergency services, including ambulances and medical teams, quickly reached the site along with senior railway officials. Dilip Kumar, Executive Director of Information and Publicity at Indian Railways, confirmed that over 95% of the passengers have been rescued from the affected coaches, with no deaths or serious injuries reported so far. The General Manager of Southern Railways and the Divisional Railway Manager of the Chennai Division will be reaching the spot. We are making arrangements for the remaining train passengers to reach their destinations. The crew and guard of the train are safe, Kumar stated. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav is closely monitoring the situation from the Rail Bhavan in New Delhi. He has directed railway authorities to ensure proper treatment of the injured and to facilitate the safe travel of the remaining passengers. Additionally, he emphasized the need for swift completion of rescue operations, urging all senior officials in the Southern Railway Zone to arrive at the scene promptly. In light of the incident, at least 7 trains, including the Chennai-New Delhi Express, have been diverted. Train traffic on the affected road has been suspended as rescue and medical teams continue to operate at the site. Passengers are encouraged to seek information regarding their relatives via helpline numbers 04425354151 and 04424354999. The Southern Railways Chennai Division is also making arrangements to provide food and transportation for the stranded passengers. 5 under trial prisoners charged under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences (POCSO) Act escaped from a prison in Assam after breaking roads and scaling a 20-foot wall using bed sheets, blankets, and lungis, a piece of clothing worn around the waist. The prisoners escaped from the Morigaon District Jail between 1 and 2 a.m. on Friday, prompting the district administration to order a magisterial probe. The jailer, Prashanta Saika, has been suspended, and 2 assistant jailers from Guwahati have been temporarily assigned to manage the prison. Inspector General Prisons Pubali Gohain will also conduct a separate department inquiry into the incident. The escaped prisoners, identified as Saifuddin Jairul Islam, Nur Islam Mafidul, and Abdul Rashid, managed to break the roads of their barracks and use blankets, lungis, and bedsheets to scale the 20-foot compound wall. Morigaon's Superintendent of Police, Hamanta Kumar Das, confirmed that a manhunt has been launched to track down the 5 under trials. We will interrogate some of the jail inmates tomorrow. Everything will come out in the investigation, Das said. Morigaon District Commissioner Devasis Sharma said the prisoners are residents of Tezpur in Sonitpur District and Lahori Ghat and Moirabari in Morigaon District. India has expressed grave concern over the abysmal conflict situation in West Asia as Israel intensifies its resolve targeting Hezbollah hideouts. New Delhi issued a statement today after UN peacekeeper station in South Lebanon came under fire from Israeli forces. Among the UN peacekeepers stationed in Lebanon, there are approximately 900 Indian soldiers. It is important to note that they were not at the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon or UNIFIL headquarters at the time it was attacked by Israeli forces. Besides the soldiers, there are around 25 staff officers, including medical experts, deployed there. We are concerned at the deteriorating security situation along the Blue Line, the Ministry of External Affairs said in a statement, adding that we continue to monitor the situation very closely. New Delhi underscored the importance it attaches to United Nations peacekeeping initiative, saying UN premises cannot be allowed to be targeted, and respecting its sanctity is a mandate. Inviolability of UN premises must be respected by all, and appropriate measures taken to ensure the safety of UN peacekeepers and the sanctity of their mandate, the Foreign Ministry said. Israel, however, has defended its actions, with the Israeli Defense Force or IDF claiming that since the beginning of the war, Hezbollah has fired more than 130 rockets in close proximity to 26 United Nations facilities. The IDF also put out a map in which it has identified these places as being less than 300 meters from the UN facilities. The UN has said recent escalation along the Blue Line is causing widespread destruction of towns and villages in South Lebanon, while rockets continue to be launched towards Israel, including civilian areas. In the past days, we have seen incursions from Israel into Lebanon, in Naqoura and other areas. Israel Defense Force (IDF) soldiers have clashed with Hezbollah elements on the ground in Lebanon. It further said that UNIFIL Naqoura headquarters and nearby positions have been repeatedly hit, adding that on Thursday, 2 peacekeepers were injured after an IDF Merkava tank fired its weapons towards an observation tower at UNIFIL's headquarters in Naqoura, directly hitting it and causing them to fall. The injuries are fortunately, this time, not serious, but they remain in hospital. Speaking about the Israeli offensive, the UN statement asserted that IDF soldiers also fired on UN position UNP 131 in Lebanon, hitting the entrance to the bunker where peacekeepers were sheltering, and damaging vehicles and a communication system. An IDF drone was observed flying inside the UN position up to the bunker entrance. Japanese organization Nihon Hidankyo has been conferred with the Nobel Peace Prize 2024 for its efforts to achieve a world free of nuclear weapons. The organization is a grassroots movement of atomic bomb survivors from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, also known as Hibakusha, which strives to achieve a world free of nuclear weapons and for demonstrating through witness testimony that nuclear weapons must never be used again. While announcing this year's Peace Prize, the Norwegian Nobel Committee honored the atomic bomb survivors from Hiroshima and Nagasaki for cultivating hope for peace through their costly experience. They help us to describe the indescribable, to think the unthinkable, and to somehow grasp the incomprehensible pain and suffering caused by nuclear weapons, the committee stated on X. The committee also highlighted that no nuclear weapon has been used in war in nearly 80 years, acknowledging Nihon Hidankyo's efforts towards the establishment of a nuclear taboo. The Nobel Committee also said that the same is under pressure. By drawing on personal stories, creating educational campaigns based on their own experience, and issuing urgent warnings against the spread and use of nuclear weapons, the organization has helped consolidate opposition to nuclear weapons, said a Nobel Committee press release. The nuclear powers are modernizing and upgrading their arsenals. New countries appear to be preparing to acquire nuclear weapons, and threats are being made to use nuclear weapons in ongoing warfare. At this moment in human history, it is worth reminding ourselves what nuclear weapons are, the most destructive weapons that war has ever seen, a press release stated. Meanwhile, the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry went to scientists David Becker, Demis Hassabis, and John Jumper, while the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine went to Victor Ambrose and Gray Ruvkun for the discovery of microRNA and its role in gene regulation. South Korean writer Han Kang was awarded 2024 the Nobel Prize in Literature for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. American John Hopfield and British-Canadian Geoffrey Hinton won the Nobel Prize in Physics for pioneering work in the development of artificial intelligence. Shortly after the award's announcement, Hinton raised concerns about the technology he has created. The prize comes with a gold medal, a diploma, and a prize sum of $1 million. Israel's army on Friday announced that it has eliminated the top commander of Iran-backed Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad in the Nur Shams refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. The Israel Defense Force IDF said that Mohammed Abdullah, the head of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad (PIL) terror group in the Nur Shams, was killed in the central West Bank during an airstrike on Thursday, October 10. According to a report by the Jerusalem Post, a joint operation between the IDF and Shin Bet was carried out on Thursday, during which an Israel Air Force aircraft struck and killed Abdullah. Islamic Jihad is an ally of Hamas, with both terrorist groups battling Israel forces in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The Israeli forces said that a second terrorist was also killed in the airstrike, without naming him. Abdullah was made the head of the PIL in the Tulkarem area camp after his predecessor Muhammad Jabir, known as Abu Suja, was killed in a gun battle in August. The IDF said that Abdullah was responsible for organizing the group's activities, including many attacks. The Israel troops also accused him of deploying explosives against them. The two terrorists eliminated by the IDF on Thursday were found with M16 rifles, vests, and vehicles, all of which were confiscated by the Israeli troops operating in the area. North Korea accused South Korea of flying propaganda-filled drones over Pyongyang and threatened retaliation, state media reported Friday. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff did not confirm or deny the accusations, but urged North Korea not to act rashly and said all responsibility for the recent series of developments lies with North Korea, referring to trash-laden balloons Pyongyang has been continuously sending to the south. On Friday evening, North Korea's foreign ministry claimed that South Korea, the most hostile, malicious, and rogue state, has carried out a severe political and military provocation of infiltrating drones into Pyongyang and scattered anti-North Korean leaflets on 3 occasions over the past week, state media reported. The ministry warned that the South would face a horrible situation if it continues provocations, the report added. North Korea's state-run KCNA published images of what it claimed were a drone, as well as the pictures of leaflets that said a comparison of the food you can buy and North Korea's economic situation falling into health. CNN cannot independently confirm the presence of drones in North Korea airspace. For many years, South Korean activists and North Korean defectors have sent balloons to the north loaded with propaganda materials criticizing leader Kim Jong-un, along with USB sticks filled with K-pop songs and South Korean television shows, all strictly prohibited in the impoverished, highly isolated nation. Some activists have been fitted GPS trackers to smart balloons that can travel hundreds of kilometers. In 2020, South Korea passed a law criminalizing the sending of anti-North Korean propaganda leaflets over the border as the previous liberal government in Seoul pushed for engagement with Pyongyang. But many campaigns defied the ruling before it was struck down last year by a court which called the law an excessive restriction on free speech. In response to a complaint filed by North Korea defector activists in the South. In response, North Korean authorities have sent more than 1,000 balloons towards the south since May, carrying trust, west, and warmth, fueling tensions as Kim Yo-young, the powerful sister of North Korea's leaders, warned of trouble ahead. And in 2022, North Korea sent 5 drones into South Korea, 4 of which flew around Gangwon Island another that flew over capital Seoul's northern airspace. Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Nazif Mikati is calling for a UN resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire as Israel intensifies its assault on Lebanon. Israeli airstrikes on Thursday killed at least 22 people and injured more than 100 others in a crowded residential area of Beirut. Survivors recounted the terrors of Israel's overnight strikes as they surveyed the damage to their homes. Meanwhile, UN Chief Antonio Guterres condemned multiple targeted shootings of UN peacekeepers by Israel in southern Lebanon. At least 2 peacekeepers have been injured. Such attacks violate international law. A UN official warned the safety of more than 10,400 peacekeepers in Lebanon was increasingly in jeopardy from Israel's attacks. This is Andrea Tenetti, spokesperson for the UN Interim Force in Lebanon. This comes amid fresh warnings of a deteriorating health crisis in Lebanon due to massive displacement and the Israeli targeting of health facilities and workers. After headlines, we will speak with a U.S. doctor in Beirut who has been volunteering in Gaza and Lebanon. This is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.